Charles here. We're going to go over today some methods for going after our squash vine borers, or you'll see some people in forums online just say SVB, squash vine borers. What some of the people in the forum suggested is you get a hypodermic needle and you mix up a batch of BT, or as they call it, Bacillus thuringiensis, or BT. This one I picked up this little bottle, I believe, at Agway. For the hypodermic needles, I tried to get them locally and couldn't, but you can just go on Amazon, and the thing you want to look for is like a 16, 18, or 20 gauge needle. This one, which is pretty big, it's going to be bigger than your like needles I think they use for like diabetic patients. So it's a big needle, will give you more strength and able to squirt it in there. If it's a real small spray, you're going to be sitting there all day. But this was one of 5. They came in packs of 5, and I think it was another $5 for shipping, and it was $5 for the needle. So it was $10. I'm sure if you look around, you might be able to find them a lot cheaper. But I needed them in a hurry because I see my pumpkin plant in my yard is already hit with squash vine borer pretty bad. So I'm going to mix up a batch of this BT according to the directions in this here, and we'll be ready to go. For the BT, it said to use 1/2 to 4 teaspoons per gallon. So in this little container, I just used a quarter teaspoon. We'll see. We'll apply that, see how that goes. Now we'll go outside. It's a good idea to put some glasses on while you're doing this to prevent from if this needle breaks or snaps here and the stuff squirts. You don't want it going in your eyes. Pull up some juice here. Well, we got our BT juice. So we'll show you got a decent pumpkin going here. This part of the vine actually looks real good, but over here you'll see the problem. If you can see down the area right here, right there, that's squash vine borer's gotten in there. You can see a little bit. Well, this morning you could see more of they call it the frass from it. But we're going to go in and inject this guy at the base here, and then in a few other spots. And what will happen is when those caterpillars hit that BT, they'll die from it. So let's see how that's goes. Alright, we hit this vine, I suppose 8-9 times, went around to some of the different stems, maybe half dozen or so of those in different parts of the main stem. But I was going, what I would do is, you got a big leaf here, you can go in any of these, they're just hollow. You go in, shoot some in there, and then if any of the borers hit that and they're going along eating away, they'll get that BT, which is a bacteria that really screws with them. It doesn't do much to humans or other animals like pets and whatnot, and it obviously doesn't hurt the squash vines, or we wouldn't use it on them. But that bacteria wreaks havoc with the caterpillars, which I've used before on tomato hornworms too. But we'll see. We'll give you a little look at how this one's going, and we'll see. I don't know if most of this yellowing is just heat stress or it is a bit from the borers, but I think it is. We'll see. Maybe in a week or two, keep a close eye on them, and maybe if I see improvement. The application was really easy. You can basically just draw the solution in with one hand into the needle, little poke and squirt and it's done. Just took us a couple minutes. And then we'll keep an eye on the vines at the outer edge. But I'd really like to get this pumpkin to finish. And not get wiped out. At least this part of the vine sure looks healthy. So hopefully we get a good result. What was the other thing people said? Another thing you can do, I don't remember his whole username on YouTube, Navajo. What he does is he goes and takes his vines, gives them a real good water, and then the squash bugs, if you've got active ones down below, they'll stay more towards the root of the plant there. You'll give them a good water and they'll climb up to the top to dry off, and you can hit them like with some neem insecticidal. So he was doing that on his channel the other day and looked to be having success with it. But this was from the forums, so it wasn't my method, but I'm definitely going to give it a shot because I love growing squash and pumpkins. So this is a bit of an experiment this year, and I'll be growing a lot more next year. And it'd be nice to have at least some defense against the squash vine borers, because it's one successful pest in the garden. It's got a unique behavior with it. Lays its eggs under the leaves, so it's hard to see them and spray for them. And then they hatch and the worms immediately burrow into the plant, and after they're in the plant, they're protected by the plant. That's why we got to use the needle. And then they go through the vine. You can also cut in and dig out the borer if you can find it, and that's one thing. Another thing you can do is at different places along your vine, you can bury the vine and it'll root. I think the squash will do that. I'm not sure about this type of pumpkin, but that way if your borer gets in any section, it doesn't kill your whole plant. So there's a few tips on squash vine borer protections. This is Charles.